Hello everyone, my name is Varadarajan, Assistant Professor, Department of Mechanical Engineering, SNS College of Technology. So, we almost seen in our previous video, we had a discussion about the design of transmission system and the first unit design of flexible elements. So, we will quickly revise what are the portions we already covered in our previous two videos. So we almost seen in our previous videos what are the different types of education and training activity, the human activity chart we had seen, and then what are the engineering activities like from the invention to sales and application. That slide you almost seen in our previous video. And what is we are seeing about what is the actual design and its definition, and based upon the accreditation and based upon the decision making process, how the design it can be explained. And then what are the different types of decision making process also we had discussed about that in our previous video. And also we had discussion about mechanical engineering design and what are the simple joining bearing design it will be requires, and what are the important criteria we already discussed in our previous video. And this is the last slide we had seen the discussion the phases of machine design. So here we already seen that what are the different phases which can be useful for the designing of any element. So now in this video we are going to see about that design consideration. What are the consideration we are going to see if we are able to design any component. So like these are the 26 elements it will be considered as the design consideration. Likewise, the functionality, strength, stress, and distortion, wear, corrosion, safety, reliability, and then manufacturability, utility, cost, friction, weight, life, and remanufacturing, reliability, volume, and maintenance, marketability, lubrication, surface, thermal treatment, control, size, shape, and styling, noise. These are the elements we are considered for the design of the certain elements. And then what are the types of design? We had the certain types of design. There are three types. So adaptive design and development design and new design. The entirely new design which can be the product which can be it's not already exist. So entirely new design. And also the adaptive design, existing design is adapted in the new design. So example, fuel pump, injector, like that. And then developmental design is nothing but starting with the existing design and finally obtain the modified design. So these are the types of design. And also here we are going to see about the belt, ropes and chain drives are used to transmit the power, how the power which can be transmitted to one element to another element. So that is a very important criteria we are using for not only belt, ropes and chain drive. So here the gear also the same thing. So that's why the transmission elements all over the area of transmission elements we are going to see about how the power which can be transmitted from one place to another place. So it means which means used for pulleys which can be rotated in some direction and some certain speed. There are different different speed which can be obtained, okay, from one to another. So that's why we are using to belt, ropes and chains are which can be the power transmitted. So that's why these are all the elements which can be called as flexible elements used for conveying the system in transmission of power comparatively longer distance. So that's why in this unit we are going to see about the belt, or a flat belt, V belt and chain drives. So the amount of power transmitted depend upon the following factors. We already seen that. So the velocity of the belt and the tension under the which belt is placed on the pulley, and the arc of contact between the belt and smaller pulley, the condition under which belt which can be used. These are the certain conditions we are following. So the next one is the power which can be transmitted from the friction between the belt and contact surface. So the friction between the belt and contact surfaces of the pulley is very important. So the selection of belt drive is following are the very important factors upon which the selection of belt drive depends upon the speed of the driving and driven shaft and the speed reduction ratio. So which means that if you are using this spur gear or a helical gear or worm gear, so the speed, instead of speed reduction ratio, the gear ratio we can use, and also the power, how much of power which can be transmitted to from one element to another element, and also the center distance between the two shaft is very important. And then what is the positive drive requirements and the shaft layout, space available, and service conditions. So these are all the very important factors which can be using for selection of any build drive. So and also that what are the types of build drive, we already seen that. So the build drives are usually classified into the following three groups. So light drives and medium drives and heavy drives. So the light drives, it will be these are used for transmit small power at the belt speed up to about 10 meter per second as an agriculture machines and small machine tools. So that is the light drives. And medium drives, these are the drives which can be used to transmit the power at the belt speed of over 10 meter per second, but up to 22 meter per second as a machine tool. And the heavy drives, these are used to transmit the larger power at the belt speed above 22 meter per second in the compressor and generators. So these are the based upon the application we can classify the types of belt. And also the is the major consideration also we can classify flat belt, V belt, and round belt, timing belt. So the belt and their and its layout, it will be shown in the figure. So further, particularly the flat belt and its classification of that importance and advantages, disadvantages. So we will see in the next video. Thank you.